Welcome to the Appendix, where we read the primary sources of the past so the present can be better understood. Today's primary source, the English background of the Monroe Doctrine. Letter from George Canning to Richard Rush, October 20th, 1823. George Canning, who was contemptuous of the Holy Alliance and its activities, became Prime Minister of Great Britain in September 1822. The following month, the powers of Europe met at the Congress of Verona to consider the feasibility of the restoration of the Spanish monarchy in the colonies of South America. Great Britain withdrew from this Congress, and in March 1823, Canning instructed the English minister to Paris that England could not permit France to acquire any of the former Spanish colonies in America. August 16th, Canning made informal overtures to the American minister Rush, looking to joint action on Latin American affairs. The letter of August 20 contains a succinct statement of Canning's position, but it did not embrace recognition of the Latin American republics. For this reason, and because Secretary Adams felt that it would be better not to come in as a cockboat in the wake of the British man of war, the United States did not respond to Canning's proposals. Meantime, Canning had secured from Prince Polignac assurance that France would not under any circumstances act against the former Spanish colonies by force of arms. Canning was satisfied with this understanding and did not press his original idea of a joint declaration with the United States. Foreign Office, August 20th, 1823. Private and confidential. My dear Sir, before leaving town, I am desirous of bringing before you, in a more distinct, but still in an unofficial and confidential shape, the question which we shortly discussed the last time that I had the pleasure of seeing you. Is not the moment come when our governments might understand each other as to the Spanish American colonies? And if we can arrive at such an understanding, would it not be expedient for ourselves and beneficial for all the world that the principles of it should be clearly settled and plainly avowed? For ourselves we have no disguise. 1. We conceive the recovery of the colonies by Spain to be hopeless. 2. We conceive the question of the recognition of them as independent states to be one of time and circumstances. 3. We are, however, by no means disposed to throw any impediment in the way of an arrangement between them and the mother country by amicable negotiations. 4. We aim not at the possession of any portion of them ourselves. 5. We could not see any portion of them transferred to any other power with indifference. If these opinions and feelings are, as I firmly believe them to be, common to your government with ours, why should we hesitate mutually to confide them to each other and to declare them in the face of the world? If there be any European power which cherishes other projects, which looks to a forcible enterprise for reducing the colonies to subjugation on the behalf or in the name of Spain, or which meditates the acquisition of any part of them to itself by cession or by conquest, such a declaration on the part of your government and ours would be at once the most effectual and the least offensive mode of intimating our joint misapprobation of such projects. It would at the same time put an end to all the jealousies of Spain with respect to her remaining colonies, and to agitation which prevails in those colonies, an agitation which it would be but humane to allay, being determined as we are not to profit by encouraging it. Do you conceive that under the power which you have recently received, you are authorized to enter into negotiations and to sign any convention upon this subject? Do you conceive, if that be not within your competence, you could exchange with me ministerial notes upon it? Nothing can be more gratifying to me than to join with you in such a work, and I am persuaded there has seldom in the history of the world occurred any opportunity when so small an effort of two friendly governments might produce so unequivocal a good and prevent such extensive calamities. I shall be absent from London but 3 weeks at the most, but never so far distant but that I can receive and reply to any communication within 3 or 4 days. I have the honor to be, my dear sir, with great respect and esteem, your obedient and faithful servant, George Canning. R. Rush, Esquire. Thank you for joining us for our primary source today on the appendix. We will see you in the stacks.